So far we have discussed the operation of multiplexers, various multiplexers, and their application for combinational logic design. There are many other applications of multiplexers, and one of them is data routing. Basically, multiplexers are used to route data at the output from the selecting from various sources. Suppose we have source number 0, source number 1, up to say source number 7. So depending on the select lines, the data of selected source can be routed to the output, and this application is very often used in telephonic conversation. Okay, and muxes can also be used for function generator, as a function generator. Suppose if I have to generate say a square wave of certain say 50% duty cycle, means for the 50% time it is off and for the 50% time it is on. Okay, if I have to generate this kind of wave, I can use mux for this designing. I will apply 1 over here, 0 over here, 1 over here, 0 over here, alternatively 1 and 0. Okay, and then I will apply a counter of certain frequency over here. Okay, so as this counting progresses over here, 1 and 0 appears over this line. So this way we can use this mux to generate a selected function. You can also make it 1 for certain time and then 0 by asserting 1 at all these lines and 0 at one of the line. Okay, so you can generate a one shot kind of pulses using mux. So you can generate pulses of your desired shape using mux. Okay, now and this can also be used for parallel to serial data conversion. Suppose what happens in your computer like unit, computer like memory. Computer memory is arranged in byte pattern, means a certain location contains 8 bit of data. Suppose this is location, address of location is 000 and it contains 8 bit of information. Okay, suppose you select this location and the data which is contained over here will come into the data buffer, and after this data buffer, this data has to move serially to the output device. Means suppose if this data has to be applied to your speaker, then this data should come at the output in serial form. Okay, so if you apply this 8 bit data to a 8:1 mux, this 8 bit data means say data 0 to data 7, D0, D1, D2, D3, these are the data bits. If you are applying D0 up to D7 at the input of mux, and you have simply applied a counter output over here, what will appear at the output first? D0, then D1, then D2. This means this data has been now serially coming at the output. So this way you can convert parallel data into serial data. And reverse operation can be performed by another combinational logic circuit which is called demultiplexer. Okay, this is the forward operation. Reverse operation can be performed using demultiplexer. So what a demultiplexer is, it has also n select lines say there are three select lines, S2, S1 and S0, and it has one input, and the input is basically coming out of the mux. The output of mux is forming the input of demux, and the coming input can be routed to the selected output. Okay, means now suppose I0, not I0 but O0, O1, O2, O3 and up to O7, output 7 are the outputs where this selected input can be routed depending on the value which is appearing at this select input. Okay, so this circuitry is called demultiplexer. How we can design a demultiplexer? We have some, suppose 1 to 4 demux, means we have two select lines, S1 and S0. Naturally, we will take the inverted version of this, means S1 bar and S0 bar. So what appears? We have basically 4 AND gates. Okay, S1 bar, S0 bar is connected, say gate number 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the input is applied at all the gates. Input which is coming is applied at all the gates. Now, from which line this input appears if 0, 0 is asserted over here? It appears at the I0 line, say at the output of this gate number 0. Okay, this you can say O0, not I0, O0, output line number 0. Then suppose if 0, 1 is asserted over here, then we have to make the proper connection for this. 0 and 1 means, okay, now this gate is enabled and input will appear, this I will appear over here. Suppose this is say Y0, Y1, Y2 and Y3. So naturally this will come over here when S0 and S1 was 1, 1. Then this will come over here when S1 is 0 and S0 is 1. And if suppose this is 1, 0, then we have to make accordingly a connection over here. Okay, then Y2 will be equal to I, and if this is say 1, 1, okay, Y3 I will appear at Y3. This means this input can be routed depending on the line which has been selected. Okay, so this is the operation of your demultiplexer. So it can be used for serial to parallel conversion of the data. Serial to parallel. Serially data is coming and it has to be placed in some parallel bits. It has to be arranged in some parallel bits. Say a bit pattern, a data bit pattern is formed like this. It has to be arranged in a nibble form like this. So the first bit will be inserted over here, second bit will be inserted over here, third bit will be inserted over here, and fourth bit will be inserted over here. Okay, so this way we can perform serial to parallel conversion. There are many other operations that can be performed using multiplexer. A combinational logic circuit can also be designed using demultiplexer. How can we design a combinational logic circuit using demux? Suppose if we have to design the same full adder circuit using demux. A, B, C, sum and carry out. These are the possible inputs, and sum is 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 and 1. Carry is 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1. Okay. So for sum, what are the mean terms which are 1? This is M0, M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6 and M7. The mean terms which are 1 are 1, 2, 4 and 7. And for carry, the mean terms which are 1 are 3, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Now we have, suppose, a 1 to 8 mux, D mux rather I should say, 1 to 8 D mux. It has data inputs and 3 select lines, and at the select lines we are applying A, B, C. Now we are applying these A, B, C. This A, B, C has been connected over here. Okay. And at the data line I am sending a 1. Now if A, B, C is 0, 0, 0, 1 will appear at this output line. Say this is Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5, Y6 and Y7. So 1 will occur at the corresponding line, when the corresponding select input is inserted over here. Okay. Now which one we have to pick up for sum? M1 line and 2 line and 4 and 7. Okay. And if we apply these to a OR gate, so this is naturally going to give you the sum term. Okay. Now for carry you have to pick up signal line from 3, from 5, from 6 and from 7. So simply by this ingenious thought you can design a sum and carry output from DMUX also. Okay. So this is also one of your tasks in your laboratory. Got the point? Now we have 2 combinational circuit which are left to discuss. I will discuss them one by one, and then I will imagine as if the combinational part has been finished. The one of them is 7 segment decoder circuitry. 7 segment decoder. What this 7 segment display is, display, and that too in common cathode configuration. And when I am saying common cathode, so I will make cathodes of all the segments common. Suppose this is LED A and this is suppose LED A, this is B, segment B, segment C, segment D, E, F, G and there is one for decimal point. You may say this to be H, and if you see the 7 segment display, it appears something like this. Got the point? It appears something like this. This segment is called A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is E, this is F, and this segment is called G, and this segment I am saying to be H. Okay. Now for certain digital combination, for certain digit combination, say for 0, when I wish to display digit 0 should be displayed like this. Okay. So which LED should lit in this situation? A, B, C, D, E and F. Rest of the LED they should be 0. Okay. So I am now making a table corresponding to each display. A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H, and this is decimal digit, and this is corresponding BCD code. So if you have to make a pattern for 0, it will be made something like this, and BCD code which should be applied for this is 0000. You will give the BCD code for any digital circuit, and which segment should be on for this? A should be on, B should be on, C, D, am I right? E, F, and G and H should be 0. Okay. Now to display this digit, which display should be on? I have a 7 segment display present now. You see this is 7 segment display. Okay. So this B and C, so B and C should be 1, and rest other they should be 0. Now it is quite convenient. Okay. And BCD code which should be inserted, which should be your input. BCD code should be your input. This will be your input. Okay. Now to display 2, what pattern should appear? And 2 means you have to supply this. So A, B, C should be 0. Okay. D 1, E 1, and F 0, G 1, H 0. Okay. Got the point? To display 3 should be displayed like this. Okay. And for this you will supply this as your input. 0011 will be supplied as input. Got the point? And what should be there in the display? For 3, F and E should be 0, rest other should be 1, 1. Am I right? And H is 0. Okay. Okay. Got my point? So this way you will make table up to 1001, because you are going to display 9. Okay. And after 9, input may appear. Input may appear. That input becomes 1 0 1 0. But output is not going to display 10. 10. So output could be anything. It could be anything. Means the output will be don't care at all the positions. Got the point? Now it is 0 or 1, it is not a matter. Up to where? Up to 1 1 1 1. This is the situation. Up to 1 1 1 1. Don't care. Got my point? Now you have to design this circuit using K-map. Using K-map. These 4 are the inputs. Okay? And you will pick up any one, say A. Many input means 4 input, single output at a time. This situation you will pick up for your designing. These 4 inputs and A as a output, leaving other output as if you are not looking them. Okay. So for A you will make a K-map incorporating all the don't cares, and you will simplify that map. Got the point? So I am going to make that map, or I am simply writing the min term for A, simply the min term for A. If you look for your table, A is the summation of min term 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 and 9. Okay. B is B, segment B is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 and 9. And rest of the terms they are don't care. After 9 they are don't cares. Means don't care if I incorporate don't care. So don't care terms are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 are don't care in this. And these don't care are incorporated in every segments. Okay. So for segment C, it is summation of 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and other are plus don't cares. Don't care terms are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Okay. Now suppose if I am going to make a map for A. For A I am going to make a map. So how this map will appear? If I put my AB term over here and CD term over here, naturally this is 0th, 1st, 2nd and 3rd, then 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14 and 15. So where there are 1? In 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are don't care. Okay. Now you can very easily form the group. This is one of the group. Okay. This is one of the valid group. This is one of the valid group. Okay. This is one of the valid group. Okay. And then corners. If you look from the corners, they can also form a quad. Got the point? So what comes out for A? A plus BD, you solve it, you will get CD plus D bar B bar or B bar D bar. Okay. So this way you can realize function for LED corresponding to segment A. Similarly, you can form a function for LED corresponding to segment B, and it comes out to be A plus B bar plus CD. I am straightforward, I am writing down the result, but you can derive it. Okay. Then C will come out to be A plus B plus C bar plus D. Okay. This is for segment C. Then segment D, segment E, segment F, segment G and segment H. And then you will make this circuitry, making the logic gates. That circuitry which is made this way is known as BCD to 7 segment decoder. This circuitry which you will make is itself called BCD to 7 segment decoder, and it comes in a IC form. It comes in a IC form which is numbered as 7447. Okay. So what is at the input of this IC is basically a BCD, and then you have the outputs corresponding to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and there are many other input output. When you will make a complete IC, there are many other inputs and outputs. Okay. So this is one of the very important combinational logic circuit. There is one more combinational logic circuit which is left for our discussion, is carry look ahead adder or look ahead carry adder. This I will discuss in my next lecture. Okay. So thank you. When I am saying binary parallel adder, this means I have to simply clarify what is the meaning of this parallel adder. What is the meaning of the word parallel? Okay. Why I am saying this to be a parallel adder? How binary parallel adders are constructed, if you see. Suppose I am constructing a 4-bit binary parallel adder. So for this I will take four full adders. Okay. At the input of these full adders, we will apply the augend and addend bits. And suppose if I say augend and addend bits like this, A0, A1, A2 and A3 are augend, and B3, B2, B1 and B0 are addend. These are the bits. Okay. So naturally A0, B0 will be applied over here. A1, B1 will be applied over here. A2, B2 will be applied over here. And A3, B3 will be applied over here. Okay. And since it is a full adder, at the LSB bit position we are applying full adder. So naturally we will have a carry in bit for this, and then the carry out of this full adder number, say full adder number 0, full adder number 1, full adder number 2 and full adder number 3. So the carry out of full adder number 0 will go to the carry in of full adder number 1, and it will produce a sum output, say S0. Okay. And this way this will produce a sum output, say S1, and the carry output of this carry out of full adder number 1 will go in the carry in of full adder number 2, and this will produce a sum output S2, and the carry out of full adder number 2 will go in the carry in of full adder number 3. This will produce a sum S3, and a carry out, final carry out is produced from full adder number 3. Okay. This is one of the scheme to add 4 binary bits simultaneously at the same time. That's why this is called parallel adder. So is there any serial adder also? If it is a parallel adder, we must have a serial adder also. Suppose if I wish to add the same 4 bits using only one full adder, then what is the way? I will apply this LSB bit at this full adder. Okay. I will find what is the sum as 0. I will find what is carry. C out, and I will store this carry somewhere in the memory. I will store this carry. Okay. And next time I will apply A1 B1 over here, and then at that time I will also apply the stored carry, and previous result of S0 has been stored somewhere in the memory. Now I am getting a fresh result, and now I will store it for S1. Okay. So this way also I can add these 4 bits, but now bits are applied serially. Getting my point or not? Bits are being applied serially, and carry out is kept in a memory, and this carry is applied when we are applying a fresh higher significant bits. Okay. Meaning we are not applying these bits of a nibble parallelly, we are applying these bits serially, and this will give a huge amount of circuit delay. Just to get rid of this, what we designed? We designed a parallel adder. Okay. Now what is the drawback of this parallel adder? Naturally, to get the final stable output of sum and carry, we have to wait the carry which is flowing from the LSB to the MSB, because the carry which is coming over here, which is coming at the input of full adder number 3, is affected by this carry, and this is also affected by this carry, and this is affected by the bit positions over here and carry in over here. So naturally we have to wait the carry flow all the way from the LSB to the MSB, and this is also going to give you a huge amount of circuit delay. So what is the way to get rid of this carry flow, or what is the way to minimize this carry propagation time? So one of the way is to use look ahead carry scheme. And this way we design look ahead carry adder. So what is the logic behind the design of this carry look ahead adder? If you see what are the various logical component which has been applied for the realization of a full adder, what we apply? We apply 2 half adders. To realize a full adder, we apply 2 half adder, and some other logical circuitries are needed. So how it is made? You see, this is an exclusive OR gate. This is a circuit needed to realize a half adder. Okay. Then we design another half adder like this. Another half adder is designed like this. Now how they are connected? The output of this exclusive OR gate number 1, this is exclusive OR gate number 2, this is gate number 3 and gate number 4, you may say, is applied to the input of this gate, and together with this a carry in is also coming in the picture, and this carry in is applied to the input of this exclusive OR gate as well as to the input of this gate number 4. And one of the input of gate number 4 is connected with the output of gate number 1, and this output of gate number 4 and output of gate number 3, they are combined together to form input of gate number 5, which is an OR gate. So this is giving the final sum and this is giving the carry for the next position. This is the circuit of full adder that we are implying in our parallel adder circuit. Okay. This is AI and BI. Now, suppose the intermediate result that we are getting as an output of 1, we say at the output of 1 what we are getting? We are getting AI exclusive OR with BI. And if we say this intermediate result to be propagation at ith position, carry propagation at ith position, and suppose the output of gate number 3 we say to be GI, and this GI is AI dot BI. Okay. Now, if we express some SI in terms of PI and GI and CI, how this SI can be expressed? This SI will be equal to PI exclusive OR with CI. Am I right? So this SI will be equal to PI exclusive OR with CI. Getting this? And what about this CI plus 1? This CI plus 1, if it is expressed in terms of either PI, GI and CI, okay, then this is equal to PI ANDed with CI. This is equal to output at the gate number 4 is PI ANDed with CI, and the OR over here is giving CI plus 1. So this is what? This is GI. Okay, GI added with PI CI. Okay, GI added with PI CI. Getting my point? Now, if this is CI plus 1, and if you look at the this full adder circuitry, this we say C1. If we say this to be C1, if we say this to be C2, this will be C3, this will be C4, and this will be C5. And in general, they are called Ci plus 1. What I am getting over here is Ci plus 1, and here I am applying this Ci. Okay. So if I write the expression for C1, rather this should be C0, this is C1, C2, C3 and C4. Okay. If I write the expression of C1, then what will be there? C1. Write down the expression for C1. It will be G0 plus P0 C0. Okay. And these PI and GI, they are available only after a one gate delay. PI and GI are available only after a single gate delay. Okay. And CI is available immediately as an input. So there is no propagation delay, or there is only one level of propagation delay, or simply saying two level of propagation delay. One because of this AND gate and other because of this OR gate. Only two level of propagation delay gives you this C1 out. Okay. What about C2? The carry for next position. Carry of next position. If I write the expression of C2 in terms of this, this will be equal to G1 plus P1 C1. What about this? This is G1 plus P1, and what is C1? This is G0 plus P0 C0. Okay, so this will be equal to G1 plus P1 G0 plus P0 C0. You look at the generation of this G1. This is P1. This P0 P1 C1. Okay, this G1 is generated immediately after the application of input. After a single gate delay, G1 is generated. There is no problem in you don't have to wait for the generation of this G1. Getting my point? You don't have to wait for the generation of this P1. You don't have to wait for the generation of G0, and you don't have to wait for the generation of P0, P1 and C0 itself. So C2 is also generated at the same time C1 was generated. Getting my point? What about the C3? C3 is G2 plus P2 C2. So this is G2 plus P2 and this is C2. This is G1 plus P1 G0 plus P1 P0 C0. So this is equal to G2 plus P2 G1 plus P2 P1 G0 plus P2 P1 P0 C0. Okay, you are getting? So this C3 is generated immediately when A3 B3 bit is applied, because what you have to generate? You have to generate G2, and it directly depends on the applied input bits. Okay, this G2. Okay, then P2 G1 has already been generated. Then P2 P1 G0, this has also been generated, and P2 P1 P0 C0, this has also been generated. Okay, so you don't have to wait for any additional time, for any extra time, as it was needed in your parallel adder. Okay, similarly you can observe for C4. C4 will also be generated at the same time when C1 was generated. There was no additional wait time required. Getting my point? But what additional item is required? You see, the number of gates that we are applying in this circuit. Naturally, it is going to enhance the power consumption. Okay, as we increase the number of gates, it will enhance the power consumption. So at one end we are being benefited, but other end we are in a adverse situation of more and more power consumption. Okay, suppose if you have to design a 64-bit adder, so as you increase the number of bits, this generate and propagate circuitry becomes more and more complex. Okay, so this circuit is also having at one end it is giving us a little bit of benefit, but at other end it is harmful for your power consumption. You may see the realization of this expression, the realization of the carries in this circuit. This circuit is going to give you the carries as at different positions. This is the propagate and generate points are there, means propagation and generation has been evolved using a exclusive OR gate and AND gate. Okay, and if propagation and generation has been evolved, then rest of the circuitry is going to give you the carries for different positions. Okay, and this is giving with only a 2 level of circuit delay. The first level is this and second level is this. There is no additional delay incorporated in this circuit. Okay, so this way this circuit is much faster than the earlier circuit. This is much faster than the earlier circuit, but the only drawback is increased complexity. and this is the overall carry look ahead adder design. Okay, here you are applying the addend and augend bit, and this is the carry input which is coming in the circuit, and immediately after the application of addend and augend bit, you have generated the bit for propagation and generation. Propagation and generation bits have been generated. Okay, now this look ahead carry generator, the circuit that we have seen in our earlier view, this look ahead carry generator generates the carry for different bit positions, and carry for those bit positions are applied to corresponding exclusive OR gate, and this propagate input and this carry, this makes the final sum, and you get the final carry from here, from the carry generate unit itself. Okay, getting my point? So this way you are getting a almost carry free addition, and this is a miracle, but it is only at the cost of hardware. Okay, so hardware involvement has also to be kept in mind, because this plays a major role in deciding the overall cost of the circuit and overall power consumption of the circuit. Okay.